Hey you guys, it is Preem and I am here with my commentary for my last blog, which was titled All Black Women Can Divest, Ask Eve, and Megan Take Note. So this was a blog that I wrote, and it's really coming right on time because this is going to be the last blog that I write for divestment for a minute, because I want to get into the esoterics of why things are happening as they are happening, and why we are being why divestment is about to be the only option that black women have left. But I do want to direct you guys to two divestment content creators that I want you guys to go listen to if you guys are into divesting and you came to this YouTube page looking for advice on how to divest, or you just want divestment content. These two ladies do swirl, but their content is not like all right. Here we go. Swirling content, in my opinion, on YouTube is black women who decided to date non-black men, right? They did not decide to date non-black men because of the reason that divestors don't date black men, right? They just date. For the most part, they all admit that they date all men, and they found love in another race. And then they're just swirlers. Sometimes you catch them on the BLMs, and you catch them talking to black males, and you catch them going through with black men about bullshit. And divestors are not doing that. If I see a black woman who is technically divested, they are not going through with black men about black people issues, right? We just not concerned with that anymore. We have put enough of ourselves into that kind of shit, and we just don't do it anymore. So there's lots of divestment content creators, but I'm just going to tell you the two that I subscribe to, and I am in both of their Patreons. And yeah, go over there, get your ass over there. So the first lady is Divested Zealot. That's her YouTube page. That's her YouTube channel, and she also has a Patreon. If you really want some community with black women of like mind, if you're a divested black woman or you're thinking about divesting, and especially if you want a little counsel, hit over to her Patreon, and I'm gonna spell it. It's Divested. No, I'm not gonna spell it. Y'all know how to spell divested. I'm gonna put it in the info box or whatever. I'm gonna put it in the info box as well. Her YouTube channel. And the other one is Miss Archduchess. She also has a Patreon. Again, if you're looking for a community of black women divesting women or divested women, hit over to Mad's channel. Again, her name is Miss Archduchess. I'm going to put her name inside of the information box. Again, she also has a Patreon, and her Patreon is a community of divested black women. Both of these content creators, the ladies that come to their channel, the ladies that come to their Patreon, are both are of all socioeconomic backgrounds, all different black women that just decided, that has as Miss Archduchess said the other night, the entry to these spaces is that you must have a love for black women and be able to put black women first. And if you really do love black women, and you really do want to have a community of sisters that you can talk to, and just sometimes we just in some of these spaces we just really be shooting and shit, and then sometimes we really healing. So if you want to really be in a divested space with like-minded black women, that is where I advise you to go. If you want to really listen to divested content, that's where I advise you to go, because right now, after this blog right here, I'm going to be doing more of esoteric work and a more of explaining how we got here. Explaining how we got here, why we are here, and why black women, eventually why black women, again, I'll circle back around to why black women should be divesting when I can, when I am doing that. But if you want divested content all day long, Miss Archduchess and Divested Zealot is where you're trying to be at, and their names, and I'm going to take their pages in the or put their pages in their YouTube channels in the description box. All right, moving on from that. Now we're going to talk about classism in the divested spaces, because I made this blog a couple days ago, but it's come right on time, because you know, the classism that goes on in divested spaces is really, for me, I just don't get it. I think that it's anti-black woman. To be honest, I think that when women are bringing up when women are being classist, and first of all, I'm on a YouTube page, and I had posted a comment in a YouTube page about how they were being, the divested women in this space were being classist, and the women all said, well, we don't feel guilty about being classist and elitist. Well, what I wanted to let them know, but I didn't, because I just don't have that kind of energy, because I know as soon as you come off at me like that, you're being anti-black woman, and you think that because you have divested and you really don't want black women, all the rest of the black women, or black women who have the ability to, and who want to, and who need to divest, you don't want them to divest. You want to be in this space alone. You want to keep it a secret, and you don't want, and I'm not saying that that divested black women should not be careful about, who we invite into our spaces. But what I am saying is that if you see a sovereign queen, or you see a sovereign black woman, like, you let her know some shit. You don't have to keep it to yourself. You could give her a try, and if it don't work, if she throws some mammy shit in there, then you could, retract your offer. But at least, have some grace for black women, and especially black girls. It's just sickening to me. And as soon as I see it, I see it for what it is. And because most of the time, what I see, what I'm dealing with, I'm always dealing in a spiritual sense anyway. So how you come to me in your physical self is not really what I'm seeing. I'm feeling your energy. I'm feeling the energy behind the shit that you said. What you say, we like being classist. No, and elitist. First of all, don't use classes and elitism and as if they're interchangeable, because they aren't. Classism and elitism do not mean the same thing. Elite means that you are born a certain way. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the exact definition of elite, because I feel like black women in general are elite. I feel like all black women who are not out here harming black women and children are elites. Like, yeah, that's not something that's only that only, I'm not saying that black women are monoliths, but I am saying that, all black women have the potential to walk in her divinity if she's not, fucking black male identified. All black women had the potential to walk in their power. So we all have that ability. And the word elite, the definition of elite, is a select part or group that is superior to the rest in terms of ability and qualities. Black women are that. Black women are that, and not only that, ghetto black women are that. Ghetto black women that's from the hood, ghetto black women. I know that you guys know what ghetto black girl aesthetic is. You see how that trends all over the world. Like, everybody wants to look like a black woman and ain't a black woman. Like, yes, all of us are elites. So, you sit inside these spaces and you say, oh, we like being elite. Well, guess what, ho? We all elite. All black women are elites. Black girls in the ghetto are elites as well. You don't get to sit in this space alone. So I don't like when you use elitism and classism in the same sentence and try to say, oh well, we like being elite in the classes. No, we can be elitist because we are elites, and that's an undeniable fact. Everybody in the world knows it. Especially African American women. African American women are elites, and it's in those black girls in the ghetto got a certain a certain something that the world loves. And I'm not talking about ghetto black women in a hood with boners fighting inside the Walmart. I'm talking about your everyday hardworking, busting her ass black woman who lives in the ghetto, doing her shit. Like, that black woman, like, she's elite too, sis. And you don't get to say that you're elite and she's not, okay? And if you do say it, I'm gonna check your ass on it. All right, that's the first thing. And now I want to get to classism, because when you say that you're a classist, now you're talking about something different. Now you're not talking about something that you are born as. You're not talking about something that you have a certain thing that you have that you were just born with. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. You talking about Maybelline today, okay? Black women born with it, but when you talking about classism, now you're talking about Maybelline. All right. So classism is a prejudice against or in favor of people belonging to a certain social class, a particular social class. So what you're saying is that so these girls and these girls, I don't give a fuck about calling them women. These girls in this group were talking about Ma'Khia Bryant. I think that's her name. Peace and blessings be upon her. May her transition have been an easy one. May her soul have found some rest. Okay. They were talking about that, but they were being really sneaky in it. They were posting shit that the nignogs was saying. You know, they was just basically saying that she deserved it because she lived in a ghetto. And it did not go over well with me. And they were being classist. What they were saying basically was that because she was born in a ghetto and she was a poor black girl, she deserved the death that she got. And they couldn't understand why she had a knife. They just showed this black girl no grace. They just showed her no empathy, no sympathy, and it fucking turned my stomach. And this was after I had wrote this blog, but I just realized, and then today I'm inside these divested circles, and I'm just seeing it everywhere, and it's fucking sick, and I don't like it. And I love to bring up the fact that Eve is a divested black woman, and yeah, Eve got to divest, and so does every girl that come from the same hoods as Eve. Every girl who lives like Eve once lived has the potential to divest if she wants better. If she wants it better, she has the potential to divest. Eve, if you are younger than me, because I'm a millennial, I'm 33 years old, so I'm a millennial, and if you are younger than me, then you probably don't know Eve. Like, you probably hear about Eve now, and you see Eve now, but you don't know Eve about what 15-20 years ago. Eve, like, you don't know Eve that was coming out and was fucking talking about, was a real live hood black rapper. I put some of her verses inside of my blog. My bitches that take care of their kids. My bitches. Like, just that Eve, like, that woman divested. And not only did she divest, she left Blackistan clear in her rear view. I mean, like divested. I don't mean her like, swirling, right? I don't mean she met a white man and she married him and she still was invested in black people issues and black people bullshit and still out here mammying for Tyrone. Now, Eve did, once DMX died, she did have some things to say about that. And, DMX allegedly was the one who introduced her into Def Jam or wherever. Basically, DMX was the one who got her into the rooms that she needed to be in to become a rapper, right? So when he died, she said her little piece. But usually you never hear Eve talk on black issues. She's not Black Life Mattering it. You know, she's not coming to these spaces about black people issues. Eve don't get no fucks. She divested. Okay? She's not swirling. She's divested. She does not give a fuck about Blackistan or its problems. Okay? And I mean, she's a beautiful example of what divesting looked like for ghetto girls. And then when she talks about her husband, I watch. If Eve has the video interview, which she usually doesn't anymore, because you know most of the spaces that she was interviewing in, she was like you know, black spaces, and they was asking dumbass questions like how does she end up with her husband and what do they talk about. And Eve, you know, she comes off, so she says what needs to be said in the way that it needs to be said, that's not so offensive. Someone asked her, you know, how did you and your husband first meet, and like how did you know it was different with him? And she said, I knew it was different with him when he said something to me, and she was like, instantly my voice softened. She was like, she's talking to him, right? Because we used to being in Blackistan. So, you know, we ready to pop off at any minute, any moment. Who want it? We got it, right? So she's, you know, quick talking, you know, ready to go Eve. And he says something to her, and she fucking became submissive instantly. And that's what the feminine does when the masculine is around. Yields. That's what happens. She met this man who lived fully in his masculinity and was able to command her feminine and offered her the safe space to do so. That's what happened. Eve said all of that by saying when he spoke to me, she was like, my voice instantly got softer. Okay? She goes on to talk about her husband, and she'll be like, oh, you know, I'll be talking about, you know, back in the day when I was rapping, and I'll play him my raps or whatever, or I'll play him my songs. You know, Eve, first of all, Eve is a Grammy Award winning rapper. So she's, you know, Eve being a rapper ain't no bullshit. She was really out here rapping, and she was really out here having number ones, and she was really out here, you know, a fucking real live rapper. So she's telling her husband, you know, because of course he doesn't know that part of her. So she's telling him, and he's about, you know, her being a rapper, and she'll play her songs, and he'll be like, oh my goodness, it's so cute. And Eve is telling him, no, I wasn't cute, I was hard. Like you saying I was cute, because that's who he knows her as. She yields to his masculinity. He offers a safe space for her to be soft and for her to be delicate. So when she's talking about back then, or she's playing her music from back then, he like, what? Not this my wife. Like, that's so cute, this tough guy thing you got going on. And Eve like, no, I was really out here fucking, I was living like that. Like, and to him it's just like, oh, it's so cute. It's like, oh, my little baby, you know, it's so cute to him. But to Eve, it was our lives. You know, that's how we lived our life. And Black women in the ghetto can accomplish that. And they do. At all the time, every day. Black women from the ghettos are divesting successfully. For one, let me tell you why Black girls from the ghetto, not only are they able to divest, but they are able to do it well, because first of all, we already got our guards up. Our guards is already up. When we talking to these non-black men, our guard is already up. First of all, our guard is always up with men, period, because of how we've been treated in Blackistan. You know, we're right in it. We're right here in the ghetto with the fucking dusties and the nignogs. And so our guard, when men come around, is already up. I was talking to my guy, and I was telling him, I don't know, he did something. I was just like, I'm too nice to you. Like, that's the real problem. And he was like, no, you not. I like soft. I like that. You know, and it just clicked in my mind like, oh my gosh, I am used to having my guard up, being on guard all the time, but that's fucking abnormal. That's abnormal. That's not a normal thing. When men are around, it's not a normal thing for you to instantly try to match his masculinity to let him know that you're tough enough that if he tries to harm you, you can handle yourself. Like, what? Like, what? Black women in the ghetto deserve to know that we can exist unlike that. And Eve is our proof. Women like Eve is our proof. And Eve was with Stevie J. So you know, she was in the trenches with these nignogs. I mean, like, literally in the trenches with these nignogs. And she said that was the most toxic relationship of her life. Of course it was. We all watched Stevie J on fucking Love and Hip Hop, and we saw how he behaves. And we can just imagine how he was acting when he had money. Like, what? He was probably trying to destroy her, as most black males do most black women. You know, but Eve was able to make it out of that. She was able to see herself as more and want more. What happened was they asked her how did she meet her guy, and she was like, she went to some kind of car race thing that black people don't go to, right? That black people don't be going to, and she met her guy there. And what happened was he owned this thing, like this whole event that she was there checking out with a friend. He owned it, and she ended up meeting him, and then things went from there. And now Eve is married and living happily ever fucking after, away from Blackistan. And black women from the ghetto, I am just here to let you know, ladies, dear hearts, my beloveds, you can do it. All you have to do is want more. Put yourself in a different situation. Put yourself in a different situation, a different living circumstance, be in different places that you probably usually would not be at, and still be your authentic self. Still be your authentic self, because contrary to what some swirlers are having you think, you have to go into these spaces and act like white women. You don't. If a black man is, if you are a ghetto black woman, and you know, of course we all know how to code switch, right? We all know how to code switch. But if you are out with a non-black man, after a while, if you are a black girl who is immersed in African American culture, and you talk AAVE, which is African American Vernacular English, so sometimes how you talk may slip into your language that you might use around your friends. Don't be so afraid that he's going to think a certain way about you, because that's really who you are. That's who you are. And although you may have made although you have made the necessary changes to walk into your divinity, that's still where you're from, and you don't have to hide that or pretend that that's not where you came from to attract him. He knows that. You know, if you're from fucking Oakland and you meet him in fucking Santa Monica, and you know, you instantly he sees you. First of all, girls from the ghetto look a certain way. And I'm not saying that all of us look a certain way. I'm just saying, you know, we look a certain way. So when he approaches you and he asks you where you from, and you say Oakland, he knows, you know, what kind of background you came from, or what kind of circumstance. He doesn't know until you tell him, but he knows that you're coming from a different culture than he is, right? And he's able, and if he's seeking you, and you have properly done your vetting, you've properly vetted, you know that he's not quote unquote fetishizing you, that you know that thing that Blackistan teaches us all white men or all non-black men are doing to us. They always fetishizing us. But if you've properly vetted, you know that he's not fetishizing you. You know that he's not just trying to experience a black girl, and you know that he actually is authentically liking you as you are. You can let the layers fall back as the relationship grows, and let him know who you actually are versus pretending to be who you are not and having to uphold that. Like, it's just don't do that. It's just for one, it's not what he's looking for. If he was looking for a white woman, guess what? He would be with a white woman. If he was looking for the same old experience with the woman that he gets with a white woman with you, he would just be with a white woman. He knows that you guys have a cultural difference. He knows that you guys grew up differently. And if he really stands in his masculine and you've done the proper vetting, he's going to offer you a safe space. Everybody knows what goes on in Blackistan. Okay? Everybody knows what is going on in Blackistan. No one is, it's not a secret anymore. White males and non-white and non-black men are looking in Blackistan at black women, and they are really like, why are you guys still there? Please stop mugging me inside the grocery store when y'all come into fucking Whole Foods because you decided to eat better. You're still living in the hood, but you decided to eat better. So now you go into the Whole Foods, Brad looking at you in Whole Foods, and you mean mugging them. Okay, so he already know once he garners up the courage and he garners up the courage to actually say something to you. First of all, he got a big ball sack for, first of all, coming up to you and approaching you. That's the first thing. And if you are kind enough to give him a chance, he already know what kind of experience you come from, living in a ghetto, in the hood. Trust me, if you've done if you've properly vetted, and if you're feeling him from your soul space, from your heart space, and that's where you're feeling him from, you're able to use your intuition, and you're able to really feel him. He's going to handle you with care. He's going to handle you with care. Every single Brad that I have talked to, every single non-black man that I have talked to, always knew to handle me with care. Always know to handle me with care. I've always, that never fails. For one, first of all, I deal with people on how they feel. I deal with people based on my intuition. I deal with people on a soul level, first of all. So my decisions in vetting are very well, okay? My discernment is very high. So when I'm dealing with these men, I'm talking to these men, if I let them into my space, if I let them into actually, see me and experience me, they must handle me with care. They must it's like, I hate to say that black women leaving Blackistan are like women in a fucking refugee fucking camp. And in some cases, those women can be very fucking vulnerable. Very fucking vulnerable. So that's why I said this is my last video on divestment, because before you start, my last video on divestment and dating, right? Because I want you to get out of Blackistan and get out of the clutches of the African American community or the black community, and I want you to do some self-care and some healing. That's what we need when we first are leaving Blackistan. And I talk to guys. I talk to a bunch of guys, okay? But I'm not dating any of them seriously, because I'm in the process of healing, and they know that. They know when they dealing with me that they dealing with something delicate. They dealing with something fragile. Okay? Because most of us, once we leave Blackistan, we are leaving a fucking traumatic situation. We are leaving traumas behind. So, if he's looking for a black woman and he live in the United States, no, let me scratch that. If he's looking for a black woman and he is got a fucking brain in his head, and he's not being predatory, because you want to make sure he's not being predatory, because you are vulnerable. You are vulnerable, and that makes you easier for predators. But if he's not being a predator, he's looking for, or he is signing up for some work. some work. And I don't mean he's signing up for work as far as you want to be hood and ghetto and cause him trouble and strife and want to beef with him all the time. No, he looking for work as in he knows that he has to handle you with care, that this is a different situation, that this is not what he's used to, or it's not what he or it's not what he's used to, and it's not what you're used to, and he has to step up as the man and as the masculine principal, and he has to create the safe space for you to open up. Okay, now that's what we're gonna talk about as far as divesting and dating. We're gonna talk about leaving Blackistan, and if you're gonna start dating non-black men, you're going to these men are gonna know that you're vulnerable. They're gonna look at you as, although we are not victims, so we're not refugees, but if you coming up out of Blackistan, and especially if you a ghetto black girl, if you coming up out of the hood, non-black men are looking at you like, happy that you made it, and that you are even willing to talk to them, and they are handling you with care, my dear. So, with that being said, black girls like me who saw Eve do it, know it can be done, and we've seen other black women do it. But this is a call to Megan. Megan, if you listening, if somebody happens to send you this, girl, please, Megan Thee Stallion, sis, do it. Listen, do it for us. Do it for these little Gen Zers. My daughter, she is a Gen Z. Yeah, my daughter, she's a Gen Z. She's an iGen. And yeah, Megan, we are, girl, Blackistan has not been nice to you. This, if you done listening to my YouTube video, you can go, because that's right from this moment on, I'm talking to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan, listen, sis. If you know Megan and you here, send this right here to Megan. Send this right here to Megan. The black community has not been kind to you, and will not be kind to you. You will not find a safe space in Blackistan, Megan. You must leave. You must leave. Blackistan has shown you, first of all, you were abused and assaulted by a fucking nignog. Black males laughed about it, made jokes about it. Just Hilarious made a skit about it. Those were black women that were on it that was laughing. They are not kind to you, my dear. You must leave. This is not, you don't have to stay here, especially I can just imagine the rooms that you are in, and the men that are, the non-black men that are throwing themselves at you. Do not listen, because we thought Rihanna was going to do it. We thought Rihanna was going to be another millennial that was going to be out here doing it. And then she disappointed us, because she got used, she's so used to Blackistan bullshit that she went back to it. Megan, do not do it, sis. They do not deserve you. Megan, you deserve to walk in your divinity as a black woman. Okay? The black community does not deserve you, and you need to flee. If you want to keep on making, look, if you really want to be bold, Megan, start changing your lyrics, sis. Stop talking about fucking these nignogs, and start talking about how they trash. Okay, get on that Eve tip and start talking about how these nignogs is really trash. Start exposing them for who they are. Step one. Step one, you start realizing these niggas is trash and start trashing them. Then you realize, oh shit, the whole black community is trash. They've been treating me like shit. I'm out of here. Okay? And get the fuck out of Blackistan. Megan, you don't have, girl, okay? You do not have to sit around and take this abuse from these fucking nignogs. Do not do it. No black woman has to do that. No black woman has to take the abuse in Blackistan. If you feel like you are worth more, you are, and live like you are. Okay? So that closes my commentary for my last blog, and that is going to be Um, the I'm not gonna be talking about divesting and interracial dating anymore for a little bit. I want to talk about history. Really, I want to talk about how we got here. I want to talk about the curse of mother. I want to talk about how it's looking, how it's trickling down on black women and children and black girls, and how girls like Makia, Corinne, what was her name? Sandra Bland, girls like that get caught up in the crossfire of apeism, in Blackistan, and just why we should be, fleeing the fuck up out of these inner cities, and why we should be staying the fuck away from them, because they are cursed, and as long as we stay away, as long as we stay near them, the curse is trickling down on us. That's why your girlfriends that's in relationships with these nignogs and letting these niggas bust nuts in them, that's why they are looking terrible. That's why black women just need to get the fuck out. And so that's what we're gonna be talking about from now on. So my next blog I'm gonna post is called Mules, Mammies, and Pick-me's. Which of the three are you in Blackistan? We're gonna get into black women roles in Blackistan, and the part of you that you need to kill to not be that anymore, because most of us may be a little bit of, or may have been, or may currently be, or could have been in the past, a little bit of every single one of those. And we're going to talk about how you stop it, how you stop being that way. The cure to muling for the black community, the cure to being a mammy in Blackistan, and the cure for being a pick-me. We're gonna get into the depths of that in my next blog, in my next video. But my next blog is going to be about those three different roles and how they look in Blackistan. I'm gonna go now, ladies. I love you so much. Take care of yourself. Be safe out here. Be careful about your anonymity on the internet and on the interwebs, and everywhere that you are making a statement against, or not against, telling the truth about how life is in Blackistan. Be careful about how you do that. I just now recently deleted my Facebook page. I'm unsure about my actual Instagram page. But just be very careful about how you are being perceived online, because black nignogs are becoming a protected class, and you have to be careful about how you talking about them, and where you talking about them at. As you guys know, I am a crone, so I'm trying to make my way up onto a goddamn in a castle on the outskirts of town so I can sit high and look low as Blackistan burns. And I want as many black women to get out as possible. That's the difference and when I say as many black women as possible, I know it's not a lot. I know it's not a lot of black women who are going to decide to flee Blackistan. But to those of us who do, and to those of us who have a want, I have just now decided to actually physically leave Blackistan this year in 2020. I decided I was going to start actually let my daughter go to college and literally move from Blackistan. I've been talking this shit about how Blackistan ain't Blackistan ain't safe for no girl, okay? Since 2000, maybe 14, 15. I remember when Beyonce Lemonade came out, and I was like, I saw the visuals in that video, and I was like, this just not no place for no girl, no woman. It's just not it. And that album came out in 2015. So yeah, I've been mentally detaching from Blackistan for a minute now, and now I'm ready to make that physical move. And yeah, black women, start making your exit. Okay, start making your exit. It is time to go. Love you so much. Have a good one, and be safe. Be safe on the internet. Be safe in your lives. Be safe. And I think that's it. That was my commentary for my last blog. Talk to you later. I hope to be back.